Well clapped, thank you. I got my eye once.
Time's up. Let's do this.
We're in for a wild night.
Welcome everyone to episode 277 of Born to be Wild, a wild Hearthstone podcast where we have fun, hanging out with friends, talking about the wild formats of Hearthstone, and spotlighting members of the wild community. I am your host, ElectricSheepCity. It is great to be back this fantastic Friday evening here in Kickin' Rad, Colorado. I am joined by fellow hosts, Hydralisk.
Yo.
And Schmoopiedady.
My nose is itchy.
For those of you joining us for the first time, welcome aboard. We record this podcast live every Friday evening, sometimes Thursdays, at twitch.tv/BornToBeWildHS, and the video version of this podcast is then posted to YouTube shortly thereafter. Audio versions are also distributed to all podcast apps. However, you are watching, listening, or absorbing via osmosis this podcast today, thank you. Yes. You.
Schmoopiedady. Content plug. Sorry. Before we get into the main topic of the show tonight, I'd like to say a quick thank you to the patrons of our show. Your support means the world to us. If you enjoyed this content, please like, subscribe, and comment to this video on YouTube. Another simple way to support the show is leave a review on your podcast platform of choice. If you're watching live on Twitch, we've got some awesome emotes that you can unlock by subscribing to the channel. This is free if you use Amazon Prime, finally. If you'd like to support the show financially, you can join our Patreon for as little as $1 per month. We have some channels in the Discord that are unlocked by subscribing to the Patreon, where you can see the show coming together each week. Check it out. If you'd like to interact with us personally, please join our Discord, a free and amazing online community of friends from all across the world who love talking about Wild Hearthstone. Links to all of this stuff and more, including our merch, can be found on our website, which is www.borntobewildhs.com. Sheep, how's your week?
It was all right. I had a bit of a virus earlier this week, Wednesday and Thursday. Luckily, it was just a virus. It wasn't like the flu or COVID or anything like that, as you can tell. I'm not.
You don't sound like you did like a month ago, where it sounded like you were deaf.
Yeah, right. So, speaking of sounds, unfortunately, I think that my headphone case for my the headphones that I typically use for my phone died, which is unfortunate. So, gonna have to contact Google support and get all that figured out, troubleshot, all that good stuff. In the world of Hearthstone, Zacta Arms, I think, is ZTA. ZTA is really fun. It's the XL Call to Arms. We've got the Timeline Accelerator Gelbin loop in there. So, of course, we're running lots of auras and the whole thing. Schmoopy, you were exactly right. The other week, whenever you were saying that, like, it scratches that like aura paladin itch that I was just like enjoying in standard, but you know, in wild, so it's even better. So
yeah, wild tools, right, yeah.
A lot of fun. So that's what's been going down in Sheepy Town. Hydra, what's been going down in your neck of the woods, friend?
Well, I was telling you guys for the last couple of weeks that I've been listening to the audiobook The Passage by Justin Cronin, and it has gotten really, really cool. Like I've got the physical book and I've been also listening to the audiobook, but it's like an 800 pager and I'm around like 300 pages in. But with the audiobook, I've got it from the library, and I couldn't, because it's 37 hours. I couldn't finish it in like the 2 weeks they let you take the book out.
Oh no.
So it got returned, even though I clicked renew, but someone else had dibs. And it says I got like 14
Dibs.
weeks to get it back.
Did you lick it?
Um,
If you didn't lick it, that's a misplay.
Yeah, if you licked it, then doesn't matter if they were on the list. You licked it.
They can call dibs, but you licked it. That's the trick. I mean, that's what we learned in the 90s. Am I wrong?
No,
I would never lick a library book.
Not with that attitude.
not with that immune system.
I did not lick. Coming from the guy who was sick like 3 times in the last month.
I have a kid in daycare, dude.
Yeah, he's in it. He's in it. Sheep might as well lick everything he touches. That's basically what Sheep's under right now.
It's because the lamb is now licking everything that the lamb can lick, and then Sheep just gets coughed on by the lamb.
And
He's in
also
Goopy
licking
Town.
sheep, yeah.
Yeah.
Not
Yeah.
wrong.
It's all the grossness. Kids are fun, hey? Just get you sick all the time. Anyways, I was sad that my book got returned automatically. I couldn't do anything about it, but I actually own the physical book. It's not that big of a deal, but there's like 500 pages left to read. It just looks intimidating to, sit there and be like a pleb and read a real book. My gosh, guess I got to do it because it's like 14 weeks to like get the rental back. Or I could use like a credit on Audible, but I'm just not going to do it. I mean, I own the book. It just makes no sense.
Right.
But yeah. Flippin' Diablo 2, by the way, has a new class. I don't know if anybody checked, but Diablo 2 came out like almost 30 years ago at this point. Like it was like 98 or 99. You can Google it. It's been a minute. They have the Warlock class that got announced like yesterday or the day before. And I thought today was Thursday. And so Nate actually texted me and he's like, there's a new class in Diablo 2. And I was like, oh my God. And we were like, fangirling over it.
Nice.
And I was like, oh, I gotta play tonight. And then Sheep posts like the show notes, like it's like, hey, podcast, and I was like, it's Friday. How is it Friday? Like, I don't know. My week flew. There were so many things that happened this week. Multiple appointments. I had to drive very far multiple times. I got stuck in this traffic jam, or I checked my Google Maps history. I was stuck in the traffic jam for like 3 hours plus.
Ooh,
it was insane. Like coming back from like downtown Vancouver, it was awful. And then so I guess my time this week is messed up, but the best night of the week is always Friday night, talking with my homies with just like whether it's Hearthstone, what's ever going on in life. So you know what? I can always play Diablo later. Hearthstone wise, I see everyone's talking about the XL Call to Arms pally, so I gave that a shot. I won because I know that I want to fill my board and play some Sea Giants and then Crusaders and go bam, bam, bam. So that works. So I did that thing and it seems to work. So I'm going to go with winning. Yes. XL Call to Arms pally. I've not explored all of the cool things that you could do with the different auras and everything. But I played it the way that I would play it and it works. Thumbs up. That's
Gold
basically
star.
it for me for my week. Schmoopiedady, how was your week?
Can I just say, because you're talking about traffic, if you ever have the absolute privilege to attempt to drive on the Cross Bronx Expressway on a Friday afternoon during rush hour, don't, because it's probably one of the least aptly named roads in existence. It is not an expressway. On Friday afternoon, it does have its own entire ecosystem There were people walking around selling water bottles for probably a price that was about twice of what they were worth. Flowers, hands-free options for your cell phone were very common. They were offering free windshield cleanings. God knows what they were using for the fluid, so I wouldn't suggest that. Shubi, Mommy, and I were once made this mistake because our GPS brought us on that because, you know, robots are stupid. And I said, hey, look, hon, Yankee Stadium. You know what I got to do an hour and 15 minutes later? Hey, look, babe, it's still Yankee Stadium.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Yeah.
anyway, my week, February break starts, so it's nice because my school does in fact work in a week off in February. As a teacher, nice. I notice I've been in districts that don't have this break, and when you're trying to get them ready for a test at the end of the year, for us it's the New York State Regents, I find that the students are a lot more burned out in like the March, April section, and like you can lose a lot of momentum and you really never get it back because they go away on spring break, they come back and they're cooked. They're just like, you know what, I'm on vacation mode, summer's around the corner. You might get a little cortisol spike like right like a couple days before the Regents, but like it's way too late for that. So having this break built in is nice for the teachers, it's nice for the students. And it gets us, you know, all geared up for the final push. I don't have to get my students ready for anything. I'm just like, at this point, I'm making phone calls and emails just to make sure that students that need my class to graduate actually show up for once in the second semester, as opposed to, you know, 30 plus absences in the second semester or in the first semester. And I can deny credit at like 20, but like I don't, because it's like, you know, it's conceptual physics, man. Show up and make a paper airplane. How hard can it be? So I try not to, but like, come, you got to fog the mirror. You got to come on. So anyway, break starts. Excited for that. I was unbanned from Twitch. I served my sentence. After a calendar year, my record will be of good behavior. My record will be expunged. For the next year, any emotes that I add are under extra scrutiny and have to be checked by a human before they are added. They don't get auto-uploaded like a lot of other normal people who have not asked other male streamers what their butts look like. So understandable.
Got it.
But also apparently they did a review. Apparently did a review of my current emotes, and this is really the best part of this is the best story that happened during my week. So full background for this emote that I had in my channel. All right. This was a sob emote. I tried to, Cutest Cthulhu, who's the artist I use, she likes to, I asked her to kind of make like Cthulhu characters, but like not too close to what Cthulhu actually looks like. And so, like, I asked her to make me a sob emote, and so she made a pink little round sobby boy that is, like, has a Cthulhu mouth, and he's crying in a puddle, right? And, like, I saw this emote, and I'm like, awesome. I love it. And she saw it, and she's like, awesome. I do too. And we full shipped it. And you know what? I saw nothing wrong with this emote. Honest to God, it's not even a bit. It's not a joke. It's not like a long-term con that I was like trying to get one up on Twitch. I used this emote the first time. Somebody goes, Schmoopy, that's a butthole. And it's a leaky butthole. And I've now been fighting with my chat for months and months about how my sob emote is not a leaky butthole. It is in fact a sob emote. It's a crying little boy. My YouTube viewers can see it. It's a round guy. It's got a little sideways mouth, and he's sad, right? And there's a puddle of tears. But upon review, after months and months of my Twitch chat basically being like Schmoopy, leaky butthole emote, Lamau, I got the following email from Twitch. Hi, Schmoopiedady. Based on a review of its content, we have removed your emote Shmoo25 sob from Twitch. Reason? Disallowed content. Imagery of sexual conduct or nudity, i.e. gasm-style emotes, which contain sexualized torsos or bodily fluids. Visit our
Yeah,
facts for rules, guidelines, formatting requirements for emotes. For general questions on emote upload and management, visit the subscriber emote guide. If you reside in the European Union, EU, please review our Digital Services Act DSA help page for additional information. Thanks. Like, what? They just end it with thanks. And like, you need to see this from my perspective. Okay, you need to see this from my perspective. I honestly saw nothing wrong with it. I posted it. Everybody makes a big deal out of it. Twitch reviews it and removes it for the reason that everybody else says that it's a problem. And I don't have my thing anymore. And I'm like, it's great lore, but I'm a little pissed. I'm more than a little pissed because like this is not the intention, and yet this is the result. So my sob emote got ganked, and now I'm having the following conversations with my artist. Right, so like I she's mad at Twitch, and I send her a
less buttholy.
I said no. Well, here's the thing. I'm like, okay, so Cthulhu's a tall guy, so he's got a head and he's got a body, right? And he's really long. And I'm like, okay, so he's a tall boy. Can you make him lean over and cry, but so that it doesn't look like a penis? Because this is the kind of thing that I have to now establish, as a baseline. Because I'm apparently under a microscope, including my poor little sobby boy. So R.I.P. in peace, butthole emote, as people like to call it. Unlucky. It was over the, I kid you not, it was the most used emote across channels over the last 30 days. For about 2 or 3 months running. So, the South will rise again, I guess. We'll get a new one. It hopefully won't be phallic in nature or look like a leaking anus like some people thought. And that was my week. Let's talk about the news, I guess.
Welcome to the news. The news is so good.
On that note, so
it looks like a leaky butthole.
There's not a leaky butthole.
Sorry.
On that
note.
Too soon. February 9th was a very, very big news day in the world of Hearthstone. There were 3 of these here big news drops.
Would you say it was cataclysmic?
What one could say that.
Boom. Shrek'd.
For the audio listeners, I did a quick little snare roll.
Can confirm. So the first of these here news articles is Deathwing strikes back in Cataclysm, Hearthstone's next expansion. So I don't really want to just read word for word because you can go to the website and read it if you would like to. But they talk about how it's coming out on March the 17th. There's a lot of lore. So I am going to read the kind of lore. Deathwing is coming back, only this time he's not the world breaker you remember. In the final moments of Across the Timeways, Morazond refused to accept defeat from Chromie and the Heroes of Time, so he smashed the Hourglass of Time and opened a portal to a nightmare timeline where Deathwing never fell. Now, this undefeated Deathwing is invading Azeroth with 6 terrifying lieutenants, and they're ready to break the world all over again. So that's kind of like the lore setup. Yes, Mr. Daddy.
Oh, real quick. If you look in the shreds of time, it actually, the little shreds of time tokens that you get, it was pointed out to me that the portal in the shreds of time is actually the outline of Deathwing surrounded by fire. So it actually is.
Ooh.
We actually got a little preview and a little spoiler of what was to come last expansion and didn't realize it, which I think is so cool and very clever.
Oh, cool.
I love that. And the whole like alternate timeline, we can Deathwing 1. Like that, here we go. Like strap in. I love that from a lore perspective. We can explore that, and then also means that we get some things that, like Goliath the Dwarf, I'm very excited for whenever he's going to be able to tell us, here's what happened in the primary timeline. So I listened a second time to the lore episode after this news came out because I was excited. So there will be a first ever Deathwing hero card. We will be getting some massive colossal minions as well as their heralds, which we'll get into shortly. That kind of buff them up. There will also be the 5 dragon flights, so I'm assuming that the whichever one will get the dragon flights for the shatter. And the shatter keyword is also coming about.
All the new things.
Yeah. So starting with Deathwing. So we're going to kind of explore what the herald keyword means through this Deathwing. So Deathwing starts out. Battlecry, choose 1 Cataclysm to unleash. Herald twice to upgrade. And the hero power is +5 attack this turn. That's pretty kickin' rad. He does cost 10, but he also does get 12 armor.
It's a lot of armor.
And it's more than 2.
It's more than 2. For sure.
And the thing that becomes so powerful is the battle cry. The 4 different things that you get to choose from are topple, destroy the highest health enemy minion, raise, deal 4 damage to all enemy minions, enthrall, shuffle the 5 random legendary dragons into your deck. They cost 1.
Value.
And oh yeah. And Dragon's Reign. Summon a 12/12 dragon. But why settle for just 1? Because, you know, one of those things for 10, like, yeah, the hero power's like impactful, but you wouldn't do that for just one of those effects. You know, it's versatile in that you can choose, but
Right.
But if you can choose more than one, it gets even better. So the more you use the Herald keyword, the more cataclysms you can fire off when you transform into Deathwing. Once you've played 2, you get to choose 2. Once you've played 4, then you get to pick all 4. Pretty kickin' rad. Colossals are also back. And stronger than ever with Herald. So, lore dump. Deathling's lieutenants like Ragnaros and Ajara. When you play a colossal minion, or they get like dirty ratted from your hand, or resurrected, or colossal minions, we play wild. We've seen them. But it's been a while since you've run into one. Whenever you summon the main body, then all the appendages come out. It's kind of like a battle cry, but you don't have to have played it to get it. Essentially,
Just happens.
And so we get a look at our first of these lieutenants with these colossal lieutenants with Ragnaros, the Great Fire.
Cool.
Ragnaros is an 8-mana 8/8 elemental. Sounds familiar. Colossal +2. At the end of your turn, trigger your minions' death rattles. And his appendages are 1 mana 2/1s. Death rattle, deal 2 damage to a random enemy. Herald twice to upgrade. They get bigger. Their death rattle gets bigger. I think that they show what happens later. So we'll get there. We also have a one of our heralds cards, Envoy of the End, a 5 mana 5/4 taunt. Battle cry, herald your colossal. We wouldn't really play this unless we're heralding a colossal. Neat.
Interesting how it only says herald your colossal. So that doesn't apply. It only applies to the colossals. It doesn't work on the hero card. Right, the Deathwing hero card, which just says herald twice to upgrade. So it just says herald your colossal. So
I think that they should.
Shouldn't it just say herald? Then it says herald your colossal. I don't know.
So you're heralding a
the wording is
colossal.
Interesting to me.
I think you're heralding a
It's still
colossal, but
heralding.
Deathwing is then keeping track of the amount of times you've heralded.
Is that how it works? It just okay.
I don't know. I am just theorizing.
So-
and honestly, throw a dart. Who knows? Let's see how it's coded the day of.
Yeah. But I will say both Ragnaros and Deathwing just say herald twice. I don't know why Envoy of the End specifically says you're colossal, but I imagine that it's like, transitive property, the colossal is Deathwing's lieutenant. So if you've heralded the colossal, then Deathwing is heralded as well. But first, when you play a minion with Herald, a soldier of your class's colossal is summoned to the battlefield. So whenever you herald, one of the little appendages pops out. That's pretty kickin' rad. Whenever you herald, it also summons one of those little dudes. And as they get bigger, they double. So once they've been heralded twice, then they double in both their death rattle and their stats. So it becomes, actually, instead of a 1 mana 2/1, it becomes a 4 mana 4/2. Death rattle, deal 4 damage to a random enemy. So that's kind of interesting that the mana doesn't rise incrementally like that too.
You're right. That is weird.
Right? The first one should be
double.
2.
Yeah.
You would imagine. Mm-hmm. So this undefeated version of Deathwing now wields the Dragon Soul, a source of power that once destroyed him, but now answers to his command. His colossal allies have also been strengthened, making them more dangerous than ever. In their alternate timeline, Ragnaros burned down the World Tree and fused with its charred branches to reach an entirely new level of power. The Herald keyword reflects that rising strength and the escalating danger that builds over the course of a game. Sorry, I had to read the lore bit. You get that. So they've got some bullet points for Herald. Herald delivers instant value by summoning a colossal soldier. So maybe that's why, because you're heralding a colossal soldier.
Oh, that's not bad. Okay.
Right? And keep scaling in strength throughout the game. Playing a Herald minion summons a soldier that has the same ability as your class colossal's appendages. Each Herald use upgrades both the soldier and your colossal's appendages. Herald twice to double their power, 4 times to double a final time. So once you've heralded 4 times, you can keep on doing it to summon the extra appendages, but it's not going to have any added effect other than that. Herald also empowers Deathwing Worldbreaker. There we go. There's the answer.
There we go. Yep.
Increasing the number of cataclysms he unleashes when played. Herald twice to play 2 cataclysms, 4 times to use all 4.
Well, I think that's pretty important, isn't it? That the Herald actually is like also not just like, I'm not playing a 5 mana 4/5 taunt. Sorry, 5/4 taunt. I'm also getting an additional body alongside of it. That is the
little 2/1 guy
appendage to whatever the colossal is. Yeah, I think that's important to remember with these Herald cards, because like again, on their own without the Colossus, they're not summoning anything, but also it's more stats than it looks at first glance, which I think I was missing a little bit. And I also think this probably makes how I evaluate some of the Titans that have been coming out. They look a little weak coming out, but I think part of that might be not understanding what Herald does. And I think when you actually play with them, with the Heralds, and these are getting buffed, and now the thing they say they're doing is actually amplified, maybe that makes them look a little bit better than they do just straight out the gate.
It's kind of like Galakrond, right? They do the Galakrond
So much
thing.
like Galakrond. Yeah, it's just like invoking.
No, sorry. I just drew some. I was like, wait a minute. It's invoke, but it's called Herald. It's sort of like connected in my brain just now.
And that can be like, it's the first time we're doing this way, where it's also has like creates tempo, because the invokes sometimes created tempo, right? With Shaman, they created some tempo, and so you got the little duders that were rushing, but nothing like this, where some of the appendages have their own effects that are actually, they either generate value or they create AoE or they do something. So like that's, I think, worth making note for sure. I've seen a lot of negativity on the Colossals as they've come out so far, but I think it's a little bit silly because we haven't seen the supporting pieces yet. And also I don't know if we're pricing in the Herald cards as well.
Did you just say the Hearthstone community is being negative about?
I know, shocking. There's actually been some negative Nancys. I know. Amazing.
That's
right?
so weird. I don't get it. Weird. That's new.
Well, and for our format, I think that a lot of these probably will be a little too low power level, but Standard's about to have rotation alongside this, so I think that that's pretty relevant as well. And if there is a Standard deck that becomes good, maybe we sniff around and try and adapt some stuff for our purposes. Maybe then we can see a resurgence of Galakrond in the same shell. That would be kind of neat. A sheep can dream.
Never know. I dream of sheep.
On the other hand, defend with Dragonflights. The Dragonflights were vital in taking down the original Deathwing, and we're calling on them once again. Mage, Priest, Druid, Hunter, and Paladin are aligned with the Dragonflights, and each class receives a legendary dragon aspect card. So I think they probably said up here the classes. Yeah. So the classes for the Deathwing / Colossals are Death Knight, Demon Hunter, Rogue, Shaman, Warlock, and Warrior. And the classes for the Dragonflights are Mage, Priest, Druid, Hunter, and Paladin. So we see our first Dragonflight here, which is Abyssian. Starts out as a 7 mana 6/6. Battlecry, your dragons have rushed this game.
Sorry, it's pronounced Ibisan.
I be saying.
If it's not, it is now.
So, if
Goliath is
if you
just,
happen to
like,
have
shrieking.
I be saying in your hand and you play a dragon, then I be saying be turning into a dragon themselves, and also gets the benefit from the rush, but from his battle cry, and also is a 12/12. So a 7 mana 6/6 with that effect. You play it, right? But a 7 mana 12/12 with
12/12.
rush.
Stormhammer's right there. Is that what it was called? Stormrat's hammer or whatever? The dragon hammer that never loses any durability as long as you have a dragon on board. Like, go play Dragon Hunter with a little
Ooh.
Discover package. Let's go. Should be fun.
That sounds like fun.
It sounds like fun.
Oh, I want to do that.
Me too.
I want to do that a lot.
And all your Dargons have rush. Yes, please.
That sounds
Including the one pictured in the GIF here. They play the whatchamacallit, the 3 mana 1/4 with Reborn and Poisonous.
Mm-hmm.
Whelp of the Infinite.
Muy Bastado. Muy Bastado in Arena, whatever that one's called. I forget.
Mm-hmm. And so they play that to activate their IB Saiyan. IB Saiyan then becomes a dragon itself. And then they play IB Saiyan, giving all of their dragons rush.
beautiful.
And the whelp can just trade into that 130 taunt. So that seems pretty good. I want to do that.
And like Dragon Hunter, come on. Dragon Hunter in the past was so fun.
Right?
Like I'll go down that road again.
And if then all of our dragons have rush, like I think that just changes the game.
Wild Dragon Hunter, let's go.
Yeah, buddy. These 5 classes also receive a legendary colossal. The Paladin Colossal is Nefarian's 5-headed monstrosity known as Chromatus. Each head brings a potent effect that makes Chromatus a real nightmare to deal with. But you probably know the drill. Start chopping heads. So Chromatus, Colossal +4. Chromatus is an 8 mana 8/8 Dargon. Has Taunt, Lifesteal, Elusive, and Divine Shield.
I hate this
So
already.
each one of them is a 2 mana 2/3. Each one of the heads is a 2 mana 2/3 dragon with one of each of those effects. So Taunt, Divine Shield, Lifesteal, and Elusive. And the Death Rattle to remove that keyword from Chromatus. So Chromatus has all the keywords. Each of the 4 heads only has one. Whenever one of the heads gets chopped off, Chromatus also loses that keyword. So it's a really interesting drawback to that, but also you have an 8 mana 8/8 with Taunt and Divine Shields that they can get rid of the taunt pretty easy, but
You're gonna have
still
some choices, like what do I take out first, right? Like if you're playing a board-based game, you're gonna have to think about it like you do secrets. Like which stupid little 2/3 do I take out first to slowly get there and pick away at this guy? If you don't have hard removal for Chromatus, right?
yeah,
Puts you in a pickle.
Yeah.
that'll be a fun one. Well, Shatter. They foreshadowed this keyword in the last expansion.
Good for you.
Because they had thank you. I was really proud of that one, not gonna lie. So they foreshadowed the shatter keyword last go round with I don't remember what the stats were on it, but it was like shatter, your shatter things do something else. I don't remember because shatter wasn't a keyword yet, but it is now. So Deathwing's destruction is spreading across Azeroth, and our heroes are doing their best to pick up the pieces. So the shatter keyword is a keyword for the Dragonflight aligned classes. When you draw a card with shatter, it breaks into two pieces that move to the opposite ends of your hand. So one goes to the left, one goes to the right. You can play the pieces separately, but if you manage to bring them together by playing the cards in between, then they combine into a card that is like actually strong for the cost. So they give a couple of examples. The first one is Supply Run. When you draw it, it has shatter. Draw 3 minions and give minions in your hand +2/+2 for 4 mana. Those two things get separated. So one of them is draw 3 minions. One of them is give minions in your hand +2/+2. If you're top decking, this is just a 4 mana card that does both of those things. Otherwise, you can either play them separately for 4 mana apiece, and that's very expensive for both of those effects, or get the actually like normally statted, like it's a powerful card, but the condition on it seems pretty.
There has to be better
big
things you can do. I don't know.
Here's the issue, right? Like, we
Sounds
already
rough.
have like
It sounds rough.
we already have kind of like a case study where like Demon Hunter had a card that was similar to this. Whereas like, well, how easy is it to empty your hand to get the 2 cards to actually meet each other and deal your like 5 damage to everything that isn't yours? And it turns out that like that was really hard. And so like how often are these combining together? Probably not that often. Honestly, like we'll see more of the cards that are printed. They do like to do buffs if they want to see this do well. In my mind, the cards almost have to be good enough to play on their own without coming together and combining. You almost have to like remove the whole like shatter tax and just say, hey, these are going to be good standalone cards. And then if they come together, they're going to be the absolute nuts. And kind of run it that way, I feel like. Because if you kind of put a penalty on there and say, hey, no, you know, you have to make sure that these 2 cards come together, I don't think that's ever going to be, worth attempting to run. I don't know. That might be a little bit too harsh, but like that seems to be kind of the vibe in my opinion.
I want to hear what Sheep wants to say. He's got a devil's advocate, and I want to know what it is, because I'm on Schmoopiedady side with this one right now. They sound kind of garbo separately, but let's go Sheep. Tell me why it's actually not bad.
So I think that if it was maybe balanced like around the tax not being as much of a tax, right? Like let's be Supply Run, for example, draw 3 minions, 4 mana. That's pretty steep. 3 mana. I mean, that you'd play that. Yeah, you'd play that. Okay, so Supply Run, give minions in your hand +2/+2. I think that's a 2 mana effect.
Yeah.
But I can see the tax being
Paying
on that
4.
going to 3. 4 is just way too much.
I think they have to
Way too
split.
much for that.
Yeah. So maybe it doesn't make, so if the end all be all card when they're combined is 4 mana, making them 2 mana each doesn't really make sense technically, because why would they even have this effect? So maybe if they made the halves 3 mana, like to somewhat balance it out. Like, I think that would be more fair. Because on 2 mana, you just play the 2 mana card. Like, whatever, no one would care.
Yeah. It could also be that maybe supply run is just not that good. Let's look at the next one, because they do give us 2 examples. The other example is flight maneuvers. So it starts out 4 mana, epic, holy, shatter, summon 2 4/2 drakes, and give your minions +1/+1 and divine shield. So combined, this is better than, well, doesn't give you a taunt, but the current one with the Noyotron that has the same effect, but gives you a Noyotron and doesn't give everything divine shield. It just gives everything else +1/+1. Noyotron just has the bubble. This gives everything +1/+1 and divine shield, and summons 2 4/2 drakes. I think that the 4/2 drakes are just kind of like nice. I think if you're playing this, then you're wanting to more go wide and then buff stuff. So
I don't know this. So the second half, give your minions +1/+1 and divine shield for 4 mana. Is that a 4 mana card? For what you already have on the board?
Flash sale. This is almost flash sale, but you could argue better because it's giving every minion divine shield.
mm-hmm.
So
it's giving them all, yeah.
It's almost better flash sale. I think
I'd say it's probably like a 3.5 mana effect. So like a 4 mana doesn't feel like a huge tax on that.
No. And I actually, in Arena, summoning 2 4/2 drakes is okay, but
I mean, that's fine.
right? Like
Yeah.
4 mana, make 8/4 power is pretty okay. This is more along the lines, I think, is like what would be fair. I don't know if the first shattered card really does it for me in Constructed, but the second one, where like you're buffing your board and giving it divine shield, that absolutely could. Maybe not in a format that doesn't run Crusader Aura, but in a format like ours where we do, like getting stuff to stick, yeah, sure.
I guess one thing that always bugs me is like, you gotta know when, like if you're gonna wait to be trying to get these to connect all the time, you may be playing suboptimally. It kind of tricks you to play the wrong cards to get these things to connect, and you have to realize sometimes that you have to tempo these out, which is unfortunate because they're not exactly the best tempo cards, right? They're objectively worse than a regular tempo card. So like either way, like it's sort of bad, but yeah. I digress. It makes you really think about how you're really playing your hand, and I think people are going to play off curve, Steve, because of this.
Yeah, I think that strong, good ones like what was it called? Flight maneuvers are skill testing. Like they're that, like exactly like you said, Hydra. Like you kind of have to know when and how to like just play it for tempo, when and how to like hold on for value for the whole thing, when and how you can like maneuver to play things that are in the middle, and when it's not worth it. Cards like Supply Run, probably not.
I was just gonna say, in the example video, the Paladin player is at 10 mana and top decking, so it's just easy. Like it's a simple way to showcase the card that they're top decking at the end, and it just like it just works. So that looks perfect, right?
They do have a muster for battle to demonstrate that it goes to the to the sides and to show just how broken it could be in one
They
turn.
had
You go
one
from having
card in
no
hand.
board to yeah. And one card in hand to all of a sudden you've got this. But, you know, of course it's
Yeah.
more illustrative than real world scenario for sure.
I mean, it's better than like being on turn 10 and only having a muster for battle in your hand. It went from worst case Ontario to best case Ontario.
Real quick. Shatter. We'll have to see how that mechanic works, but we've got another one. Hand targeting cards. You can
Another
now
one.
target specific cards in your hand with new cards like Battlefield Blaster and Chamber of Aspects. So Chamber of Aspects is a 2-mana, 2 durability location. Choose a minion in your hand, give it +2/+2. And Battlefield Blaster is a 3-mana, 3/4 minion. No, it's neutral and no card type, no minion type. Battle Cry, choose a spell in your hand to give spell damage +1. So it doesn't rely on the minion staying on board to have spell damage, but you do tie it specifically to one card. So in the example that they show, it's a mage playing against a Murloc paladin of some sort, and they have Fireball in their hand as well as Blizzard. And so they buff up the Blizzard to deal with the entire board.
Oh. Choose a spell in your hand to give plus. Yeah.
Yeah. So you're targeting one of the things in your hand. So we're introducing hand targeting is exactly what it's called. Hand targeting cards.
This location is a Cthulhu card. If it's in your hand.
Sure.
You can play it with Cthulhu. Let's go.
True.
I think Battlefield Blaster 2 is kind of fun depending on what spell you're talking about, because there are some spells that are not all equal, right? Something like Star Power, giving it spell damage +1 means that you get a round of 6 damage, then 5 damage, then 4 damage, then 3 damage, then 2 damage, then 1 damage. Your Defile, I imagine all your Defiles now deal 2 damage. It's not like you do
two.
right. It's not like you do Thalnos Defile and your first one has +1 spell damage. All your Defiles have +2 spell damage.
Pretty
So
sure.
I think there's going to be some, or Chrono Daggers. I think would be the standard one that like this immediately jumps out to me, where you're firing a bunch of daggers around, and if they all have +1 spell damage, that can be significant. So, I think this. I think it's really interesting. This could be actually a pretty cool card to cook with, depending on exactly what spells we're talking about, because not all are going to be treated equal.
Very good point. Very, very good point. Kind of like in the example, Fireball only hits one minion or base, whereas Blizzard took out the whole board in the illustrated example. The examples you gave are,
That's
I think, more real world.
Yeah, we can leverage this
practical.
more than the example they gave, right? The example they gave is like very bare bones, but I think we can leverage this more, a little bit more, with just how certain spells behave.
Gosh, if only it gave all of the Garrote.
Well,
I know,
that's the
it's
thing.
why
You're going to say, "Oh, I could do it on Garrote." No, the tokens, it won't count. So, it's
tokens
going
won't
to be.
count.
There's going to be some interesting cases where it's like, it's not quite as good as we think it is.
Moving on then out of the upcoming expansion and into some other exciting things are enjoy the riches of Dragon's Hoard. Free cards.
Free cards.
Log in for a free legendary you, if you have not already, go ahead and log in to that there Hearthstone and collect Warmaster Blackthorn, a 7-mana 6/6 neutral legendary for free. Battle Cry, destroy all cards that cost 2 or less in both players' hands and decks.
Why did they make
Have you run into this much yet? Because I sure have.
Actually, you know what?
When do you want me to rant?
You know what? I'm gonna give you the floor. I think.
Okay.
I think that this was a mistake, but Schmoopiedady, I think you have something profound to say. So give her.
I think it's the worst designed card since Reno Lone Ranger. I think it is second to Reno Lone Ranger in his original form. Only because Reno Lone Ranger, I've said in the past that it felt like it was a card that was designed 2 years ahead of its time. I think we're almost 2 years ahead of its time now, from when they first printed Reno Lone Ranger. And I'm thinking maybe it was more like 5 to 10 years ahead of its time. So I can't put this ahead of Reno Lone Ranger. But my opinion on cards, just generally, my philosophy, cards and decks just in general, is I want to see the most variety. I want to see the most options as far as strategies go. And this card, which is a 7-mana 6/6 that destroys all cards that cost 2 or less in both players' hands and decks, in my opinion,
Neutral.
is a big old dumb neutral I win card against certain archetypes, whether they're meta, whether they're not meta, whether they're control decks that have a combo finisher, whether they're combo decks that have had a slow start, whether they're aggro decks that are saving a burst finisher because they're up against a Reno deck and they're not being stupid and playing their Cold Bloods into Reno before Reno when they have a slow hand. Whether it's, a normal aggro deck, but the Astral Communion Druid played turn 1 Astral Communion, and now this comes down on turn 2 out of the ETC. It's just like, it's too I win. It's too dumb. It feels like I'm not even like, I don't want to turn it into like shaming anybody who loves this card, because this might be the most polarizing card they've ever printed, because I did a whole video on this. It might be the most polarizing card they've ever printed because people love this card. People think this is their favorite card. They finally get revenge against decks they freaking
Who
hate.
loves this card?
People who hate Libram Paladin. You drop this against Libram Paladin when they got a handful of Librams of Divinities, and you don't have to deal with Divinity anymore. You win the game.
I mean,
absolutely.
I am on the top of the list of people that hate Libram Paladin, but I think this card is like rude. I'm going to say rude. I'm not going to say toxic. I'm going to say rude.
No. But it's okay to be toxic. It's because they printed Ticketus, and they admitted when they printed Ticketus. They printed Ticketus to appeal to a certain kind of player that likes doing bad things to their opponent, that don't necessarily win the game, but just like they do things. And I think that's like, that's fine. You can cater to that. I think this is too close to being viable, though. Like, this needs to be more win more Garbo. Like, more win more, I'm at gold 5, and I won on turn 9 playing this because my opponent did nothing, and haha. Versus, like, this needs to be 7 mana, and it's even worse because we play Wild. And, like, Druid plays this on turn 2.
That's what I was going to say.
And War 3.
Druid? Oh, my goodness.
If it was just destroy all cards that cost 2 or less in both players' decks, then that would be one thing. But both players' hands and decks, it's like you were talking about Ticketus, Schmoopiedady, and that was like, oh yeah, it destroyed them from the deck, but your hand, like, you could still play the cards and you could still win the game. This does something to the hand, like all of those Librams of Divinity, like you said, are gone. They can't win the game anymore.
It's mega dumb. It's very limiting.
Good luck rogue players too. Like, Oh my gosh.
I mean, like again, they don't consider wild at all when they design things. That's not a knock. That's a philosophical take. That is a stance that they're going with, and they're saying, okay, we don't care about designing around wild. We will address it when it comes. Fine, I have no issue with that. I think that is a fine, logical place to start from, because honestly, it's hard to design around wild, and standard shouldn't pay for wild's sins, right? So okay, sure, that's fine. But at the same time, you just removed Shadow Step from standard because it was limiting design space. I can't think of an easier to play tech card that limits design space than the 7-mana 6/6 that blows up everything in your deck. Like, it's just very silly to me. The person who wrote the text for, like, oh, we're removing Shadow Step because it limits design space, did not talk to the person who was working on this card. So I like,
yeah, they worked on the opposite side of the building, I think.
right. They're not talking to.
They have different lunchrooms.
It's not quite as bad as like. The diamond card is too OP and gets nerfed, and now everybody has to get a diamond refund. It's not quite that bad, right, on the corporate scale of things, but it does seem like a miscommunication, or like you're talking out of both sides of your mouth. Like, it's just, I don't know. It's very silly. And then you see people trying to defend this card, and it's basically like, well, my funny deck now has a funny solution to decks that I don't like, that were giving my funny deck problems. So I'm a big fan. And like, you should be. You're allowed to enjoy this card. You're allowed to be a big fan of this card. You're allowed to play this card and not feel any guilt whatsoever. I still think it's dumb and shouldn't exist.
I mean, they gave it to you for free.
I think it kind of comes back to like that thing that we've always said about like decks and cards not having morality, right? Like that they printed the card. You don't need to feel bad about playing the card.
Nope.
The card's good. Play the card.
I just want to say that they, you know, like, you get a free card, it's a free legendary, and so you just think you should put it in your deck. If you're playing standard and you got a free legendary that's a 7-mana 6/6, you probably shouldn't put it in your deck. I'm just gonna say that. Like, this, don't have just any class deck that you have, and now that you got a new cool card, don't just put this in your deck, because it's actually probably gonna be garbage. It's 7 mana as a 6/6. I just want to say that this card has a very specific intent that people are gonna ramp to, and they're gonna target certain things. Outside of the plan for this card, it's really bad for its stats. Just saying.
You can build your deck around it, though, which I think, and your opponent doesn't. Yeah. And in a similar way to, I've played a lot of 8 Hands from Beyond, which makes me, in a very select group of people. I found that 8 Hands, building your deck around 8 Hands from Beyond was actually really cool, because you got to leverage immediately teleporting to the end game of like a greed off, and you've planned for it, your opponent hasn't, and they've barely drawn any cards. Because if you did it right, you could coin Cattle Rustler on 5, draw 8 hands, play 8 hands on 4, excuse me. Play 8 hands on turn 5, and now boom, it's the late game, and you're basically like, okay, what windmills do you have from here? I bet my windmills with disruption and value beat yours. And so it's just like, I've sort of tasted what it feels like to build around a card like this. You could absolutely build around a card like this. In Astral Communion Druid, it makes so much sense, because you're not top decking Vates anymore, or like the only brick in your entire deck is the second Astral Communion. And if you can't gain any more mana, it's 4 mana, draw a card, which is fine, because it's not like you're going to spend any of your mana anyway, all your mana anyway. So like, it's just very, very, you can really leverage the downside to you so that it's not a downside ever, but the other side is catastrophic.
Once again, that is with planning. I'm saying,
yeah,
like,
planning, exactly.
that
The
get
planning's
this
important.
card as a free card, you wouldn't include it if you were not planning.
Counterpoint to that, truthfully, it can actually probably make a lot of decks better. Like I'm thinking standard, right? Like because that's
Imagine
kind of our-
Zephyrs the Great is not a possible top deck, right? Like, yes, on average, it's
Right.
making your top decks better, 100%.
Yeah, as long as it's not a deck that is pretty much only like those 1s and 2 drops. But if it is, and then all of a sudden you're just getting into more mid range, maybe that's a benefit. Like even though it shortens your deck, your turn 7 or beyond, all of a sudden, boom, you're getting more of your late game stuff. As long
But
as you're
they
not
go
a
next.
burn or burst deck, I think is the real big thing. As long as you're not
She's
trying
trying
to
to trigger
rely
me with
on
burn or
those. Burn
Like
slash burst.
if you nuke all the early cards on your turn 7 and you put a 6/6 down, and then it's now their turn.
But their hand no longer has 2 drops, so you're kind of rolling the dice there to see, hey, how much of my opponent's hand am I getting rid of too, right?
I guess I wouldn't call it a win more. I would call it a if I'm losing, I play this card at that point.
Yeah. You're not playing this if you have like more proactive things to do, or I guess if you've got to read that your opponent is like a specific combo or burst deck, then you can play this and then you just win the game. Like that also is possible.
Yeah.
Right. But
That's definitely a thing.
but otherwise, yeah, you just play more proactively and it sits in your hand until you can just afford to just take a turn off and maybe win the game.
It happens.
Well, in this section, we also get to talk about how on March 10th, Chromie will use her chronomancy to reach into the past and give you full access to every card from Into the Emerald Dream and the Lost City of Ngoro, including the golden versions. These Dream City trial cards, asterisk, are free to use the entirety of Cataclysm. Use them to build your deck and jump right into the action. So I'm going to scroll down to the asterisk real quick. Log in between March 10th, 2026 and 36.0 expansion launch to gain temporary access to cards from Into the Emerald Dream and the Lost City of Ngoro until the 36.0 expansion launch. So the 36.0 expansion launch, the patch that we just got is 34.6. So I would anticipate that patch 35 is the one that the next expansion comes, that Cataclysm releases in. So you essentially get 2 expansions worth of things for 1 expansion's worth of time is what I'm reading from that.
Free stuff good. Like, I think we can like look a gift horse in the mouth too often in this community and be like, well, it's free, but it's not like what I want. And like, I don't know, kind of complain too much about like the free thing. Right? Am I wrong that this has been an issue in the past of the community overstepping?
Not at all wrong.
It's bounds. But so it's cool that you're going to be able to
Free
have
stuff good.
access to the cards. If you're managing alts like Sheep, Hydra, and myself are, this is an awesome feature for us because this gives us access to decks we would otherwise not have access to play in our format that we enjoy. And even if it's only temporary access, that's fine. That can maybe give you the more desirable performance that you wanted for the months that you have access to these cards. Or maybe it helps inform your decision on how you want to craft in the future. Like, I don't know. This is just a win. And really good.
I really liked that you brought out the point about how would you like to craft in the future, because maybe you are looking to play wild in the future or whatever, right? Like you're going to play a bunch of these cards that you're given the access to for a limited amount of time. And guess what? A bunch of them most cards are, don't want to say it, but like 80% of cards are kind of useless when you enter wild, right? And so like you may get to know and realize which ones actually are awesome and which ones you don't need. And it's really cool to be able to play with them. Yes, they're going to go away. Like that's a thing, but I mean, you're just given like free stuff to play with for like quite some time. So that's pretty cool. I don't know if there is really a downside other than maybe you might miss it when they go away, I suppose, but hey.
And I think that's why I wanted to read the asterisk immediately, just so that people weren't like upset whenever they left later. Like it's
because
it's more of a managing expectations thing than anything else.
100%.
Like, I don't work for Blizzard.
Right? No, and you know what? My first reaction to this was people were posting on Twitter like, oh my gosh, you get all these free cards. Like they're yours. And, like content creators are posting like, this is the best thing ever. You have free cards. They're yours. And then you actually read it and it's like they are being loaned to you for a period of time. Please don't tell the entire community that they are. It's like having core set stuff, right? Like don't tell everybody that this is yours forever. It is something that you get to play for a limited amount of time. It's there. Yes, it will disappear. And if there was a bunch of stuff that you liked, well, I mean, you can craft those in the future if you want, but it's play it while you have it. Like, why not? Cool.
But like some of the cards that I see in the background here are like Elise. I have Elise on EU, but still like Elise. I don't have Egg of Kelos because I started playing after that mini set came out, right? Fyrak, I don't have Fyrak there either. Like, oh, well, boom, the good cards. Nice. However, if you already own most of these cards, like my primary account, earning the only missing a few Emerald Dream achievement grants you a signature legendary Ysera Emerald aspect, while completing the only missing a few Lost City achievement awards a signature legendary Endbringer Umbra. These achievements unlock starting March 10th at 10 a.m. Pacific.
So you have till then to craft everything. And then you get these.
Or whenever that happens, you can craft it then, because maybe you don't need everything for these. I don't know. It just said like if you already own most of these cards, right?
Yeah, it says most of, which is so funny. Because like, what if you're missing one card? And you don't get them. So I guess so. Most, right? Yeah. Like, what does most mean? Is most like 80% or is it 99%?
That's why I'm thinking like March 10th. That let's see when that happens, because it's an achievement. Like you don't have to already have had it. Like you can attain it later, right?
Could be 51% because that's most.
So whenever that comes out, like let's see what that is, and you can craft up to that point if you're chasing the shiny. But also if you're chasing the shiny, you probably already have enough for this. So cool. For even more free rewards, we will see that thing later. We have an online event coming up, Rally the Dragonflights. So from February 9th through March 17th, Cataclysm's Rally Point page. Visit that one to take part in the Hearthstone community's effort to prepare for Deathwing's attack. Help rally the Dragonflights by signing up for the email list. I'm already signed up for their email list. Claiming drops on Hearthstone streams and interacting with Hearthstone content across their social media channels. Help the community unlock all Dragonflights to earn a free legendary I be saying and 2 signature copies of Envoy of the End.
Nice.
Yeah, buddy.
They got that countdown going.
Oh. So you know how we only get one board per standard year now? We're getting it this time, but it looks pretty kicking rad. So cool. Like, yeah, all of the like scratches on all the different parts. Yeah. It has like different elements from multiple of the different expansion like board states in the past, but it looks like they're from a different timeline. So it says, with the launch of the expansion, a new Cataclysm themed board is joining the Hearthstone game board pool with a higher appearance rate for the whole year. This board highlights how the original Cataclysm reshaped Azeroth, featuring iconic locations like the Cracked Barrens, the flooded Thousand Needles, and the fell-scarred Darkshore, and Nefarian's secret dungeon lab. So that's what those places are.
Did it say flooded Thousand Needles?
Uh-huh.
Yeah, that's so cool.
Right?
I don't know if you've ever been to Thousand Needles in WoW, but it's so neat. Goliath is gonna have a hoot with all of this stuff. I'm telling you.
Oh, must.
And so then they have their sales pitch. So the pre-purchase the mega bundle or the regular bundle, or pick up both to receive 2 free random Cataclysm legendary cards and unlock the chance to pre-purchase the pre-purchase sequence bundle containing the Victor Nefarious Diamond legendary cards. So the sequence bundles have now come to the pre-orders. That's getting a little excessive, but you know, as long, I guess it keeps the game making money, which keeps us being able to play it. So the mega bundle is kind of like normal. It's 80 packs, 10 golden packs, 1 curated random signature legendary colossal card, 1 random golden cataclysm legendary card, 4 tavern tickets, and Sinestra hero skin and card back. And the pre-purchase bundle is 60 packs.
Adding the curated portion to those legendaries is actually really key to me. A lot of people, the biggest part of their pre-orders is they're like how many Legos they got, which ones they got. So the fact that you can really like guarantee and narrow down, I think is a nice feature to implement, and you will absolutely get more people participating because of that.
Completely agreed. That is huge. The pre-purchase bundle, the regular or the just pre-purchase bundle includes 60 Cataclysm packs, 2 random legendary cards, so not curated, and the card back. The sequence bundle. So this is you have to buy both of those ones to get this. Gets you 2 free random Cataclysm legendary cards. How much is it going to be? and unlocks the option to purchase this bundle. It offers... Okay, so that one, I guess, is technically actually free. This one offers top-tier rewards and the Victor Nefarious Diamond Legendary card shown below. So this one is probably going to be very expensive because it has that diamond card, 20 golden Cataclysm packs, and a random signature legendary. So I wish that it wasn't sequential to be able to buy the things, but you know, if it makes some money, then neat.
That's the thing. So like if you buy, in my head, if you purchase the standard bundle and the mega bundle, you're gonna open a bunch of legendaries, right? And then you're like, oh well, this one guarantees I'm gonna get 2 extra ones plus this diamond one. That's like 3 more legendaries. I may as well just do that because they're guaranteed, right? It's like guaranteed when you just buy packs, unless you buy at least 40 to get 1. So like it's this thing. It's like, oh, I may as well do this because I'm gonna get at least this much. And also golden packs have their own pity timer. And you're gonna get another one in the first 10, right? So it's like kind of tempting. I sort of get it.
I feel like
I'm not saying it's worth
real...
it. I'm just saying it's super tempting because
no,
it's the way that it's advertised is you're gonna get a bunch more legendaries. You're gonna get like 4 more legendaries by buying it. Basically,
yeah. I feel like making this a sequence kind of thing is gonna kind of bite them in the butt though, because who are the people who are wanting to get like the big shinies? Do they need the like regular pre-purchase bundle with 60 regular packs, 2 regular legendaries, and the card back that you get with the mega bundle? Like it's basically $60 of an entry fee to be able to buy this particular shiny, the Victor Nefarious Diamond. And that
I thought you need
that's
both.
What I don't like. Yeah, you have to buy both. So it's like a $60 additional price tag, like, and you know, I have cut back a lot in my Hearthstone spending. But I still like spending monies on the shinies. And guess what? If it was just the mega bundle, because I'm going to get the mega bundle, there's so much stuff on there, like it's the shinies and all that stuff, right? I would probably buy the sequence bundle if I was able to then also buy that, but I'm not going to pay $60 additional dollars for packs that I'm not going to use to be able to buy these shinies. Like I'm not going to also pay an additional $60 to be able to do it.
But Sheep, it's at a discount for good dust.
Okay.
Not wrong. I mean, at a certain point.
They are very good,
but
they are very good cost per pack. Like the pre-orders are the best, like cost per like exchange rate. You get the best amount per your dollar from these typically, right?
You'll never get better. Usually it's the pre-order. You get the best. Yeah. Like there's almost never a better way of getting dust, technically.
Yeah. But I'm not going to spend $60 to get additional packs for dust. So my personal strategy is, I'm not going to be buying this one. It's pretty, but I'm not going to be buying this one because I'm not going to spend an extra $60 to be able to get the opportunity to buy this one. Yeah, no.
Yeah, sequence bundles. I mean, they're it's a little bit like we used to call ourselves Born to Be Whale as a bit of a joke, but there was a point in time where we were all just like just dishing out the coin for all this stuff, and we've all taken
Yeah.
a little bit of a step back from that. I mean, I can speak for Sheep and I can't speak for you, Schmoopiedady. I know.
Oh no! I have 1,000%. It's so funny. I spend my gold now grinding arena across 3 servers. It's actually pretty funny if you're spreading yourself out in the baby arena across 3 servers. You have plenty of gold to play arena. Because, like, you're basically not draining one account. You're evenly spreading it across 3 accounts. And you feel even better playing on your alts, playing arena, than you do on, like, your main account. Because it's just I'm generating value. This is cool. So, like...
You're like, I'm a king over here.
I've been playing, but I've only been playing on you. In the baby arena.
So, like... Yeah. So like I get Sheep's point where it's like he doesn't want to miss out on the shiny, but also I would think that if they're going to put into practice some sort of monetization policy or policy that makes them more money, I like this approach as opposed to somehow taking the cost and trying to evenly spread it across everyone else in their price bracket for the game. Because I've definitely taken a step back.
Very fair.
But like, I could not bring myself to spend the amount of money I would need to spend in order to get the Diamond Victor Nefarious. But it's not gatekeeping Victor Nefarious from me. It's not stopping me from crafting him in Golden. I just won't have the diamonds.
Right.
If there's a signature, it'll probably look better anyway. I don't know. There's a lot of off ramps for this to me not to matter so much, but to be worth a lot for somebody else that'll make the game money, that makes it remain healthy, and so on and so forth. So like, I respect the take, and the FOMO is gross. At the same time, business being business, this is one of the better ways they could be doing business, in my opinion.
I would just like to say that I made it through the StarCraft expansion without spending hundreds and hundreds of dollars on all of the shinies. And my name is Hydralisk. And I did it. That was the ultimate test that this game has ever put me through. I'm going to tell you. And I made it. And so can you. Just kidding. Support the game if you love the game. Just saying.
Of course.
That was tough. That was tough.
I was thinking that it was more of a missed opportunity on their perspective, on their end, because I've made poor financial decisions in this game before. It's happened. And if it was just there and it was for the amount of money that whatever it's going to be, then I might make another poor financial decision. But gatekeeping it behind the second pre-order is going to keep me from doing that, because I would have to make 2 poor decisions, and that's a lot harder to justify. Excellent. Thank you, Hearthstone team, for protecting me from myself.
But wait, there's more.
So the second bit of news is 34.6 patch notes. So 34.6 launching on Tuesday, February 9th. But today starts the countdown to Hearthstone's next expansion, Cataclysm, and brings balance updates to Hearthstone, Battlegrounds, and more. So Cataclysm announcement, the useful links. We just read that one. We're going to read that one next. This is the one that I thought that I was clicking on earlier, and then it was like that 8-minute thing.
Cataclysm.
So we're getting 2 cinematic trailers this time. The first one, we just watched, and the second is going to be released on the expansion release on March 17th.
That's a definite difference from the sort of 2-dimensional 80s rock stuff that they've done in the past and everything. Like, they've gone back to this full 3D cinematic thing. They've gone back and forth throughout time, but I thought it was really cool.
Yeah, you know that small Deathwing is going to be like a pet, though, right? Like,
Yes, I think that's the point.
you know.
$158 pet.
Yeah. So then there's the 8-minute and 33-second video that we're not going to watch on this podcast because
I'm just kidding. I have dishes to do and stuff.
So then they go into the sales pitch. We already talked about the context that Cataclysm is happening in, and the pre-purchase amounts and stuff. So we do have a dev comment here, though. It reads, "Well met. We'd like to share a peek behind the curtain at a change coming to Hearthstone. Beginning with Cataclysm, major expansions will return to a total of 135 cards. Neutral common cards haven't seen as much play as we'd like, so we're removing 10 neutral commons. But these cards aren't really disappearing. Instead, they're transforming into something more exciting. Going forward, we're using that design space to create new, higher rarity event cards that you'll be able to earn for free throughout the Cataclysm expansion cycle. These changes make it easier for you to get your hands on exciting new cards, both in opening expansion packs and through events. Those are just a few of several improvements rolling out this year. As highlighted in the Hearthstone Spotlight, we're also introducing new class sets that give every class more impactful tools and shine an even brighter light on their unique playstyles. We can't wait to share more with you soon. See you in the tavern." But Brawl's gone and Shadow Step is gone, but still.
I think this is cool.
I think this is really cool too.
What are the odds the first 2 classes that are picked to get bolstered are Warrior and Rogue? Just saying.
Ooh. Good idea. So they then cover the login and get War Master Blackhorn for free.
Boo!
We have discussed this, but a polarizing card.
Yep.
Limit 1 per account. After patch 35.6, War Master Blackhorn will be granted upon opening your first Cataclysm pack.
And don't forget, people, I'm just going to say this backdates for other expansions where there's been free legendary cards. If you open your first pack from those expansions, you get cards that you wouldn't expect to get, and they don't tell you this, so I'm not going to give you a list, but you got to kind of do your research on that one. There's legendary cards you're missing if you do not open the first card from those expansions. This is one of those examples. If you're listening months in the future, this is one of those.
And so if you comb through the archives, and you can see which one you would get for free by looking at these different news articles, because they do say typically not necessarily that the pack will be granted for some of the older ones, because I think that some of the older ones were grandfathered in, but you will see the login and get blank for free. So if you're like, oh, which one was it that was for free? look at the previous news articles and you'll be able to find that. That is one of myriad ways to do so. So, upcoming events. Online event, Rally the Dragonflights. So help the Hearthstone community unlock all of the Dragonflights to earn the free legendary I Be Sayin' and 2 signature copies of Envoy of the End. So we got to go to this here website to take part in the community's efforts to prepare. The website is called CATACLYSM Rallying Point Page to prepare for Deathwing's attack. Help rally the Dragonflights by signing up for the email list, claiming drops on Hearthstone streams, all the things that I said before. In-game events. Here's what I thought we were going to be talking about. Deathwing is invading Azeroth from a timeline where he's never known defeat. And he's sending his colossal lieutenants ahead to kick off the siege. Join the battle for Azeroth's future by participating in these in-game events. So the first one is going on right now. So the first wave, Fire and Storm. Who could that possibly be? The first wave is here. Ragnaros and Alakir, Fire and Storm, are launching their assault. And yeah, buddy. And just as the unstoppable Deathwing channels the Dragon Soul's power, these elemental lords are stronger than ever. So from February 10th through 24th, we log in and play, and we get Sands of Time, the epic cards. 2 of those from the first one.
The important part is that is the first one.
The very
it's
first
the first one, right? So
yes.
Like the rest is technically unnecessary. It's additional. I love that you get the epic cards on the first one.
Big agree. So after that, it's a pack and a ticket. After that, it's a golden pack and a ticket. And then after that, it's for you cosmetic chasers out there. It's the Eternal Flame Ragnaros hero skin, golden Sands of Time epic cards, and what is the card back called? Oh no, that's a Cataclysm card pack. That's not a card back. That's a card pack for the next expansion. So get a head start on your collection there. And yeah, the Ragnaros looks kicking rad, to the surprise of no one.
Is that is that different from the Ragnaros we already have for Shaman?
Oh, 100%.
Yeah.
It is. Oh, it is. Yeah, I just zoomed in on it. Yeah.
Yeah. Wave 2, Death and Madness. If Azeroth somehow survives the assault, 2 more lieutenants are ready to strike. The Undead Onyxia, yes, really, and the Brutal Cho'Gall. So this event will be from February 24th through March 17th. So the first one will get 2 of the card, Dark Iron Harbinger, epic cards, and a pack. The second one is Golden Dark Iron Harbinger, I think. Maybe those are flipped. Who knows? And then you get 2 golden of one of them and 2 tavern tickets. And then the last one is the Twilight Hammer Cho'Gall hero skin and 2 packs for the upcoming expansion. And the Cho'Gall hero skin's got eyes all over the place. It's got the Twilight Hammer in it. Yeah.
I see you.
It looks pretty awesome. There's also a new legendary quest chain. So between February 17th and March 3rd, and then the next one between March 3rd and 17th. So 2 different legendary quest chains, it looks like? Question mark.
Lots and lots of free stuff. I don't know, but lots and lots of free stuff.
Packs, tavern tickets, which like I've been using. Yeah, great news. So an Across the Timeway pack, Golden Across the Timeway pack, Cataclysm pack, and a Golden Cataclysm pack. All of them. Check it.
Tavern tickets underrated, by the way.
Mm-hmm.
Gotta use them. And I'm so guilty, but just saying, if you guys got them, spend them.
So I don't think that we have the time to go through every single one of these updates because we're already going a little long and there are a ton.
Want me to speed run the ones that are remotely wild relevant right now?
Let's do that thing.
Okay.
I know which ones I've been playing with, but
I know of 4. So the first one that might be wild relevant is CCG, becoming a 3-mana 4/4. Battlecry Outcast and Death Rattle get a random first edition Demon Hunter card. This is a mild buff because Eternally and Questline Demon Hunter are options for the 29th and 30th cards absolutely suck. Illidari Studies is one of the few places where flex is available. It's either that or double jump a lot of the time, and you'll get as many people picking double jump as you do studies. This makes studies suck a little less, and thus maybe gives it an edge on double jump. Marginally in that coin flip scenario where you try 2,000 times and you get it, I don't know, like 20 times more. So like your argument's a little better. It's a marginal increase, but it is something that like top players have made note of and been like, well, I'm more likely to play studies now because CCG doesn't totally suck. The next one that is absolutely relevant for wild is Yrel, Beacon of Hope. Once a 4-mana 3/3 rush, Death Rattle get 3 Librams from a different from an older timeline, excuse me. Now a 3-mana 3/3 rush, Death Rattle get 3 different Librams from an older timeline. What they don't tell you explicitly on the card is you really just get, was it Libram of Justice is 5 mana, equip yourself a little hammer and make everything have 1 health. You always get that. You always get what I call Libram of Lose All Hope. 9 mana spell that heals for, what is it? Does it heal for 8 and make an 8 mana 8/8 with Divine Shield and Taunt? Yeah. I despise that card from all time, not in an unfair way, just because I hate losing to it and I've lost to it a whole lot. So Libram of Lose All Hope gets pulled, and also there's what's the last Libram that gets pulled that by Yrel? It's every time. It's these 3.
Wisdom.
Libram of Wisdom,
2-mana 1/1.
Oh, you get another Libram of Wisdom? Oh, okay, so sure. Because that's wild legal, but not standard legal. Okay, so you also get an extra Libram of Wisdom. So there you go. So like she looks like, you know, it's nice having the Charger in a Libram Paladin, but this directly fights for board and is a 3-mana 3/3 with Rush, and thus maybe she's just better in the Libram list than Chillblade Champion, because while you don't have, you know, the charge burst damage anymore, do you really need that if you win earlier in the game? I don't know. So like she looks pretty solid. But like again, still sort of on the fringes because people don't really play that a lot. If you scroll down to Maestra Mask Merchant, she was a 6-mana 6/5 that had the same text that she has now, but I scrolled too far down. There she is.
Well,
Warlock
it is
Tourist.
now a 2-mana 3/2.
What? Yeah.
Battlecry, discover a hero card from the past, and now she's 2 mana and she's a 3/2. So now everybody's going, wait, Hostage Rogue? Hostage Rogue? Can we make a Hostage Rogue? Because it's much easier to play this card.
On Reddit actually today.
I've played against it.
Mm-hmm.
In standard. I've played against Hostage Rogue in standard with this.
Oh no. Well, that's not a good thing. That's how you get ants, except instead of ants you get Hostage Rogue. No, I I like this buff. I think it's a good buff for fun. Hostage Rogue still sucks. Worth reconsidering if, for whatever reason in the future, a Hostage Rogue doesn't suck. But it's so bad, and it's sort of on the fringes of like the evil things you can sort of do in Wild, and nobody's really playing it, and it's not very successful. So like, I'm okay with this. This has made people cook a lot, even if it hasn't had a big impact. A bigger impact is if you go down 1 card to Petty Theft, old 2 mana, get 2 random 1-cost spells from other classes. Now it's a 1 mana, get 2 random spells across from other classes. I cooked my own Pack Rogue, because when was the last time you played Pack Rogue and got your Wild Paw Knolls down for cheap? And they cost 6 right now, so a pack only gets you to a 1 mana Knoll. Petty Theft, either before or after on the same turn, gets you to a 0 mana Knoll. What's really fun is if you high roll 2 Petty Thefts and Shadow of Demise, now you have a 0 mana Knoll from 3 spells, which is pretty hot. So like, you can do a lot of funny stuff, and 1 mana spells from other classes are really easy activators for Velorok as well. I actually got a Neon tweet for a Pack Rogue that did pretty well in the early revert meta. Looking at this card has definitely made a wild impact. I'm not saying that. I will actually say explicitly, Pack Rogue is worse Miracle Rogue. It is worse. It is not good. It is funnier. It's fun, but it's not better. I don't think it has any unique matchups that it's better at, except for maybe Warrior, because while Warrior just sort of clears your Miracle boards and you're dead, Pack Rogue creates infinite BS between the packs and Velorok and a million other different factors. Just in general, this has been another card that people have been really happy to cook with. So that's a good buff. And just quickly, I believe that's the only other one that has been wild relevant. Oh, except for Splendiferous Whizbang.
Yeah. So quite a few specific changes have been made to Whizbang. They detail them as follows. Warrior, all lackeys now cost 0. Mage, all morphing cards now cost 1 less. Paladin fully leans into singleton rewards. It has all of them. Shaman expanded to 40 cards, 40 health, to better complete quests and capitalize on their rewards. Death Knight added Sif as a viable win condition. I've lost to that one. Along with general card quality improvements. Hunter added standout legendary minions, including 2 of each Windrunner sister. Druid now features the Discover Mage quest to complement its random Discover theme. And Rogue, treasure increased from 5 to 8 with weak treasures removed from the pool, so more treasures and higher quality treasures.
Actually, right now it's bugged. You get no treasures. You get 0 treasures in the Rogue deck. You queue a.
Oh no!
You're basically queuing a 22 card. you're queuing a 22 card Hook Tusk Rogue with Thief elements. It's not ideal. It's not like the worst. What was really weird was I watched Booger Worm discover a card from his deck, and one of the 3 cards that he was discovering was, in fact, a treasure. So it was like,
okay,
they're there, but they're not there. You're not going to draw them. You're not going to find them.
They exist. They're just
Schrodinger's treasures.
It's an odd one. I don't. This is probably one of the weirdest coded cards in the game. And so going in and changing something and trying to make it better, I can get not getting it right the first time. I'm sure they're aware of it and they will fix it. And this has had an impact on Wild because I think more people have been trying it in Wild. Like I've had some bad stretches with viewer decks recently. bad.
Mhm.
Multiple streams where I've had at least 10 losses in a row playing viewer decks, which is new for me. Usually I'm pulling like a 45% win rate. If it's a good meta for me, I'm pulling like a 55% win rate, and I'm like up around like, top 1K. This is like this expansion, I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's just like new cooks. I don't know if it's the cards. I don't know if it's some sort of greater meta trend. I have been tanking like crazy. I played Whizbang in Wild for 10 games and made a video of it. And spoilers if you want to watch that and not miss the outcome, but I went 5-5.
Ooh.
5-5 versus 0-12, chat. Whizbang is better than the average viewer deck, which means that most people should, in theory, be playing Whizbang as opposed to cooking themselves because they're burning the pan, the kitchen, and their loved ones down with them. So, these buffs have been pretty good, and it's really funny because I think it's still a 45% win rate deck in standard, but like 10% of the standard meta right now are people playing Whizbang. It's good enough even at the highest levels that people are memeing with it. So I think this is a card worth going over on its impact. Even if not all of that impact is wild, it's definitely being felt.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
It's a fun deck to play against. Just saying. Arena updates. They've made a few updates to the Taverns of Time arena set. Taverns of Time changes. Taverns of Time cards are no longer guaranteed every 10th draft, as well as the first pick during redrafts. Flash forward. It used to be 2 mana, now it's 1 mana. This one got a little better. Hey, would you look at that? This was one, choose one, draw 2 cards, or gain 2 mana crystals. Your opponent does the other. Was 2 mana, now is 1. Cool. Thief of Futures was 3 mana, is now 2 mana.
It was already one of the better cards in the arena, by the way, for Rogue. Sorry, go ahead. What does it do?
Battlecry, steal the top card of your opponent's deck. So, in arena, you're playing just arena cards. So your opponent theoretically has tried to draft the best cards that they could get a hold of. And so you take that card and they don't have it, and your resources continue. And then you continue playing your cards and one of theirs. And yeah, it's just a 2 mana 3/2 now instead of a 3 mana 4/3.
Which I think is better to do earlier. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. Oh, 100%. Oh, no. So there's a really funny loop where your opponent plays, like they drafted, the 5 mana 6/5 arena card that's in arena right now, where you discover a spell that costs however much, but like you discount it by 5 regardless of whatever you discover. And so like it's really funny, but you discover it and put it on top of your deck. So it's really funny watching them play that card, and then you play Thief of Futures and you steal whatever card it was, and if it's removal, you remove the 6/5 and like sometimes get tapped. It's really funny. That particular loop. And I think it's funny that they chose to buff this card. I guess Rogue wasn't strong enough after they at first did nothing about the amount of imbue in the pool, which was great for Rogue and spooky for everybody else, because Rogue was getting like minus 10, minus 11, minus 12 on their like card value on what they were discovering. And so they cut down on the imbue stuff in the drafting so that you're not finding as much anymore, but now everything else about Rogue sucks. So I guess this is like them trying to balance that out. I don't know, that's how I'm feeling about it.
Yeah, I think I had a 4-win run with Rogue and didn't have but I think 2 imbue things, but had like a few Thieves of Futures, and so I stole imbue things from my opponent and then I played them. So that was great. And in one memorable game, I stole my opponent's very next card we're going to talk about. Infinite Wolf. So Infinite Wolf can now be drafted again, I'm assuming.
I don't know. Actually, yeah, I have drafted it, I think.
Yeah. So old 4 mana, rush, death rattle, given shuffle an infinite wolf into your deck, give future infinite wolves +4/+3. New 3 mana, rush, death rattle, shuffle an infinite wolf into your deck, give future infinite wolves +2/+1. My opponent had discovered their infinite wolf and then shuffled it into their deck, so that's why I was like, I'm not sure if it's still in the pool, because it could have been the one that they generated.
Yeah, I think
from
it's
this,
back.
or they could have
I think
had it
it's
in
like-
their deck. So
I don't know. Hunter's in like a weird spot because I think the best thing that Hunter can do is to actually get the quest. And then I don't even know if you can draft the quest anymore, but like you get the quest and then you start drafting beasts to complete the quest. And this doesn't complete the quest ever. It's very good. It's infinite value, but like the pool for discovering off of the quest is really goofy because it's just like, all right, so you can make your opponents a bunch of 1/1s and you've developed a 9/7 for 2 mana, or like just there's some very, very strong options. Completing the quest or just going full beast. If you're going just normal beast, yeah, this is a good card. This is one of the reasons why Hunter would be good.
Mm-hmm. And if you were ever just kind of drawing nothing, you could always pick Wildlands Adventurer, which was a 3 mana 2/2 and is now a 3 mana 2/3 with Rewind, Battle Cry, get a random card from Taverns of Time.
Those are the arena exclusive. Yeah, the arena exclusive ones. Yeah.
So they're good.
So
more playable stats. It's got more playable stats.
They're
slightly more playable stats. This, I feel like this should be a 2 mana 2/3.
They're really uneven, honestly. Like the good ones are really good and the bad ones are really mid. So like this card was like a middle of the road kind of draft card. Like you drafted it if you looked around and you said, oh, the other two options are not good, and you just sort of settled for this. If you look at it like Timeline Accelerator, I think that's a decent kind of analogy to make. But the Discover was worse. Mm-hmm. It was a worse Timeline Accelerator. Now it's probably a better one, especially since the stat totals are no longer the same. It trades a little bit more evenly. You're usually getting better value per mana. I think it's a good change.
Yeah, and if the one that you get isn't good, then you rewind it and maybe it is good. And if it's not, then it's typically, like you said, it's mid. It's not like it's like actively disadvantageous for you typically, right?
I was drafting them at 2/2s. I was fine with the card. Yeah.
Well, another one that just got better is Stasis Elemental. Went from a 4 mana 3/5 to a 3 mana 3/4. It's a Shaman Elemental with battle cries: freeze any minions your opponent summons next turn.
This almost never sees any play.
It feels like it should, but I don't think I've run into any Shaman.
I know what you mean. Yeah, because Shaman's hard to draft for. It's hard to draft.
Yeah, Shaman's in a bad spot.
Yeah. Well, we also got a buff to Possibility Seeker. It was a 4/4 and now is a 4/5. It's a 4 mana dragon with Battle Cry. Shuffle your hand into your deck, draw 4 cards.
This would be great if the meta was about dumping your hand and then going for tempo, but the problem is this meta is actually pretty greedy and value-based, and this option is just toxic. Aside from the dragon tag is actually very relevant. Warrior has a lot of dragon-centered cards, especially its Timeways card that's exclusive to Arena is like, oh, you can either discover a dragon or you can summon it alongside of your 7 mana 6/6. So like, and
if you have a dragon in hand.
If you have a dragon in hand. So like this can be a dragon in hand and just sort of sit there. But like it's not great otherwise, I feel like, outside of niche cases. What are you gonna say, Hydra?
I wonder what No. I'm wondering what Hearth Arena puts this card at, because
I can tell you real quick.
It's got like the stats for the mana, right? And it has a battle cry. It draws 4 cards. Yes, it does shuffle them back. So like in a vacuum, it's a good card. It may never suit your situation, but I'm curious what Hearth Arena says. I think it might give it a big number.
Yeah, HS Replay kept telling me to draft them, or had it in contention for drafting. So
is everybody good with me using instead Hearthstone? I'm using Hearthstone Arena tier list.
You can use like whatever you want, man. I just
you can use whatever you like.
The only thing I've ever used for Arena, which I haven't in years, was what was I just saying? The Hearth Arena.
No, the Hearth Arena one is like awesome. No, Hearth Arena. I get on my computer to use the Hearth you were saying Hearth Arena. I was going to say HS Replay.
The Overwolf one. The Overwolf one.
Oh.
HS Replay has one now, and it's actually pretty decent.
Yeah. Okay, Possibility Seeker and Death Knight. Ready? We can go through all the classes. Death Knight, it's a 63. That's not good.
Okay.
It's pretty high.
Pretty low for wild.
The top's 100. Actually, the top's way higher than that. In Demon Hunter, it's a 66. Makes sense. Lower curve. Still not great.
Mm-hmm.
In Druid, it's a 63. In Hunter,
that's pretty bad.
It's a 68. Hey, makes sense. You're dumping your hand with Hunter. Mage, making a bunch of stuff. This is going to be atrocious. 60. Yikes. Yeah. Okay. Paladin. You can have empty hands. 63. Okay. Priest, you will not have empty hands.
No.
63. Okay, being generous. Rogue, you will definitely not have empty hands. 63. Wow, they're desperate. Rogue must suck. Shaman. 66. Okay. Warlock. I imagine
how bad the rest of Shaman is.
63. Yes, yeah, that might be a
yeah.
Right. And let's see what Warriors, it's a 66. So there you go. That Dragon Synergy giving it that a little extra boost. So again, just to give you an idea of like where it's useful and where it's not useful. Where it's not useful is a ton of places. Where it is useful, you can either take advantage of the creature type or you're dumping your hand, I think, a little bit more frequently.
All right. Well, we topped out at 68%. Sweet. Not bad. Not bad. Hey, sometimes there's 35% cards. Okay, we'll take the 68.
Yeah, for sure. Moving on then to Master of Realities. Used to be a 6 mana 5/8, is now a 5 mana 4/7. It's a Shaman card, no minion type. That reads, after you summon a minion, transform it into a random minion that costs 2 more. So this is the kind of evolved shenanigans that you were talking about, Schmoopiedady, that Shaman is apparently doing, but I have not seen
with usually the imbue hero power. This card has blown me out like crazy before. But Shaman's not in a good place, so it's probably not that good, but it's cooked me before for sure.
Also Black Sabbath reference, so let's go.
Right? Yeah. Moving on then to Rift Warden. Used to be a 7 mana 7/7 and is now a 6 mana 6/6 dragon. Battlecry, put a random minion that costs 5 or more on top of your deck. It costs 0.
I don't think this has been doing very well previously. I don't think it's doing well now that it costs 6. It's better than 7, but like 6, 7, that just in general is just like not a good thing.
Yeah.
I hate myself.
And now the Infinite Murloc. Oh, I love this guy. Used to be a 1 mana 2/2 Battlecry. Shuffle 2 Infinite Murlocs into your deck. Your future Infinite Murlocs get +1/+2. Now it's a 2 mana 2/3. Shuffle 2 Infinite Murlocs into your deck. Your future Infinite Murlocs get +1/+1.
Wait.
Still worth.
Yeah, I've seen people still build around this. I think it is worse though, because I've seen
still done it. I've still done it.
It doesn't quite snowball the same as 1 mana, but it's pretty good.
Yeah. Well, 1 mana and +1/+2. Like, this was a big nerf.
Yeah.
This was a big nerf.
No, I agree.
But Infinite Murloc's still good.
I think it's pretty brutal, but still seems good.
And then there's some Battlegrounds updates. And while I've played a little bit more Battlegrounds since the last we talked,
1 hour later.
great, we get to talk about the gacha again. Hogger and Varian arrive in Dark Moon Fair Treasures. So in mainland China, February 9th through March 10th. All other regions, February 17th through March 10th. So they're both going to be up at once. We're not going to focus too much on these because we've already talked about how we don't like that gacha as a mechanic. And they're there. Bug fixes and gameplay improvements. There were some. I don't think any of these are particularly noteworthy.
Visual bug.
Yeah.
Nothing mattered. Nothing ever happened.
And nothing else mattered.
Which brings us to our final bit of news. Can you wait until we get into our discussion topic? It's going to be lengthy.
Nuts. 6 hour show. 6 hour show.
Just randomly. So your guide to Cataclysm card reveals and free rewards in Dragon's Horde. So with Cataclysm about to descend upon the tavern as the next Hearthstone expansion, we're teaming up with your favorite creators to show off all the new cards.
Your favorite or my favorite?
What about
your favorite creators?
My favorite. Okay, who are they?
Your favorite. From the Herald and Shatter keywords to Deathwing and his Colossals, there's plenty to get fired up about. We've got everything you need to know to catch these exciting new card reveals. We're opening the vault door to the Dragon's Horde. A treasure trove of free cards, hero skins, card backs, and more. You can start claiming free rewards today and pick up plenty more throughout your Cataclysm journey. View our handy Dragon's Horde guide down below after the card reveal section so you don't miss a thing. I'm not going to do the whole thing.
Thanks, radio DJ Sheep.
So watch the Hearthstone Spotlight. There's a full presentation from the Hearthstone team on all of the exciting things coming to the tavern this year. Check out the Hearthstone YouTube channel. There's the cinematic, which we watched. And there's this Cataclysm expansion reveal deep dive, which we have now passed on watching 3 times just because it is 8 minutes and 33 seconds and I would have to cut it out of the recorded thing anyway. Our socials are going colossal. So they're spotlighting each of the individual classes on a different reveal day. That's pretty cool. So the Hunter Colossal reveals were on the 10th. The Druid ones were the 11th. The Mages ones were the 12th. And the Priest ones were today. All those happened already in the past. Card reveals with friends. These are the ones in the future.
Unless it's not the future when they listen to this, in which case it is also the past.
Quite possibly.
Science.
It's like Back to the Future, but also it's the past.
So join our host Regis Kilbin, Fino, Baby Bear, Danehearth, and Zeddy. Hydra, I know you were calling for him. As they host live card reveals with friends. And what's even better than friends, developers from the design team will be joining too. So Death Knight and Hunter are on the 17th. Druid and Rogue are on the 19th. Mage and Hunter are on the 23rd. Priest and Warlock are on the 25th. Warrior, Paladin, and Shaman are on the 27th. And there are, each one of these are hosted by a person. So the first one, DK and DH, Regis Kilbin's got Curly Wordy, Tice, No Hands Gamer, and Dose of Coffee. Really excited to see Curly there. She's good people. Druid and Hunter on the 19th is hosted by Fino with Tars, Lorinda, Brigidus, and current world champion Xiao T. Yeah, Bridge is good people. I'm really excited to see her on there.
Oh yeah, Bridge. Another Canadian. We're lousy with Canadians.
Who's Canadian? Sorry.
Oh, Bridge. Bridge is Canadian.
Oh, I thought she was a Utonian.
No, I don't think so. I think she's Canadian. Dr. Light was pumping her up.
Oh. Mage and Hunter on February 23rd, hosted by Baby Bear with guests Sidisi, McBanterface Dreads, and Theo HS. Really happy to see Sid there.
I was going to say that.
And,
the correct Hunter man.
Covering the Hunter, right? Priest and Warlock on February 25th with Danehearth with guests Gabby, Warshak, Feelink, and Chris 05.
I love most of those people.
Warrior, Paladin, and Shaman. The final day, February 27th. Zeddy with guests Edelweiss, Witty Bill, Snow Kiss, and Clark Hellscreen. Oh, and there was a dev each time. The first one has Sage Giorgio. The second one has Edward Goodwin. The third one has Alex Smith. The fourth one has Nate Kaplan. And this last one has John McIntyre.
That's kind of fun because, like, you'd assume they'd be helping preview the stuff they'd been working on, right? So, like, they give you a little bit of extra background to that. That could be really fun.
Yeah, buddy.
Also, shout out to Edelweiss being up in there.
Yeah. She's really good people, too. Really excited to see her there. Special guest reveals. Hearthstone on Reddit on February 18th and 20th. They're going to share the neutral cards from the new expansion. Or not all of them, but some of them, I would suppose. Hearthstone Discord. So our Hearthstone Discord, February 24th and 26th. You'll vote on which card group will be revealed first, and then, the other one will be on the other date. On February 18th, Dark Lady Cosplay is going to be cosplaying as Sylvanas herself. She finds the ultimate method of destruction for Deathwing. Hint, it goes boom. It'll be the Hearthstone social channels. February 20th on the Play Hearthstone YouTube channel. You will enter the Karazhan library to discover the lore behind some of our most sinister Hearthstone locations and uncover a new one along the way. That'll be fun. And then February 26th, Play Hearthstone's YouTube channel, Hearthstone brings a big dragon card to life. Well, animated life anyway. And finally, the final reveal stream. Brian Kibler reveals the last remaining Cataclysm cards with Hearthstone designer Cora Giorgio. Let's hope he doesn't burn one this time. That'll be March 3rd at 11 a.m. Pacific. on the Hearthstone Twitch and YouTubes.
What if it's a burst card?
Kibler also is known as the dragon. If you guys don't know that, he is called the dragon. So if he's revealing a dragon, it's got to be good.
Theory crafting community days and pre-release tavern brawl. Theory crafting with casters Sottle, Raven, Odamane, and High Sayaka are on Twitch. NA players, as well as Ladan and EMEA, will play March 5th, 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. Pacific. APAC will play March 6th from 2 a.m. to 8 a.m. Pacific. Drops enabled, Cataclysm packs. Check it out. Community days, March 10th through 14th. Watch Twitch. Drops enabled. Any Hearthstone channel. Pre-release Tavern Brawl. That's coming up. That's going to be March 10th through 17th. So the pre-release Tavern Brawl. Those are so much fun. And we get that March 10th through 17th. But I'm probably not going to have any tavern tickets. So what can you do? Okay, the Dragon's Hoard. Free stuff. To celebrate the epic launch of Cataclysm, they're rolling out a treasure trove of rewards for you to claim, beginning with the patch that just happened and continuing through probably the next one. And beyond the release of Cataclysm, you'll be able to snag everything from free packs and legendaries to full sets of trial cards. Yes, really. You can learn more in the Dream City Trials cards section below. Use this guide to see what all you're going to get. And y'all, I don't want to read all this stuff. There's a lot.
There's a lot.
No,
This was a lot. This was like drinking from a fire hose, like trying to like just take in all the changes all at once. And then some people were still like, but we still didn't get a standard balance patch. So like it's like I think that's coming in its own time. Yeah. this was a lot of free
this
stuff,
goes all the way till
new buffs.
April
implemented.
14th is the last thing that's on the list. Like that's a while from now.
Yeah.
Like, come on.
No, we did not get any standard balance adjustments. That's true. But we just spent like this entire episode talking about just the news, and this was not a particularly short episode.
Yeah.
So yeah, lots of stuff's coming. This is honestly one of the reasons why we were like, we can't really record on Friday, but we can't miss last week because stuff was coming, man. Stuff was coming, and there's no way we were going to be able to talk about the core set changes and this all in the same episode. Like, there was so much.
Yeah.
So moving on then to our discussion topic.
Boo.
Unrelated Advice with Schmoopiedady.
Uh-oh.
Schmoopiedady.
Sheep.
Hydra and I were hanging out a little bit before you got on the call, and I sat down and I was like, oh man, I'm in jeans, like I'm gonna change into some sweatpants, right? Like I'm gonna be just hanging out, like may as well. And Hydra mentioned that like he's heard other people calling them jogging pants. So Schmoopiedady, I need to know from you, why are sweatpants and jogging pants called these things? And which one do you refer to these things as?
Okay, so being from my athletic background, you're also a former runner, so you probably get a lot of my logic here as well. I would not call every sweatpant jogging pants, because that's like an 80s thing, right? Like I would not wear JAMA sweats to then go jogging, because I will literally sweat so much I will dehydrate myself. If I haven't had my potassium, my muscles will seize up. I will die on the curb like a dog in the gutter. So I like say, like, you know, the athletic sweat.
That escalated quickly.
Yeah, well, you know, I do that. The athletic, like, long material that's thin, that's breathable, sometimes too breathable, and you're like, curse you, damned icy wind. But the ones that are like just, you know, allow you to like expirate your perspiration easily, those I would call joggers. Anything that is fuzzy or thick or in some sort of material that doesn't otherwise repel water, let you let out water, let you, I don't know, jump over puddles so you're avoiding water, I guess. I don't know. We'll throw that in a category as well. But screw it. It's late in the night. Yeah, I think joggers have to be anything that's like at least attempting to be athletic. Everything else that you can just eat Cheetos in, like that's just sweatpants, man.
Wiser words have never been spoken. And you heard that on
More to be wild.